What's up, guys? My name is Devin, and I am the host of Let's Play Survivor, and I'm back with another video, this time giving my takeaways for Episode 3 of Australian Survivor, Australia versus the World. At the start of this episode, we got more seeds planted for a possible Black Widow Brigade 2.0. Tony seems to be smelling it out. He's really been focused, pinpointed on the ladies. I've said it last episode, I don't think Tony has much of a shot. I for sure see Parvati, Sari, Cass, Lisa joining up. Unfortunately, going into the merge, it seems like we're probably going to have we're for sure having a double boot on our Sunday episode starting next week, and I would imagine that we're going to roll into the merge thereafter. And it only makes sense for me. It only makes sense to me for the ladies to get rid of Tony. It makes me super nervous. I hope he can clutch an immunity win. For those who don't know or didn't see the preview, both tribes are going to tribal council on the Sunday episode, and there will be one person per tribe with individual immunity. And I for sure want it to be Tony. Tony's one of my all-time favorites, and I want to see him play the most fun part of this game. Also, another takeaway for the World Tribe was this key scene was a lot of fun. It took 3 episodes for us to get there, but seeing the entire cast of the World Tribe scramble, looking for this key, Tommy said it perfectly. If you think a needle in a haystack is hard, imagine finding a key in a jungle. I love whenever they are able to, when the camera is zoned in on the key. The players become so used to the cameras being in their face that they don't even realize that they are literally pointing it directly at what they're looking for. So that was a lot of fun. And for Parvati to have the key directly in her face and for it to take a minute for her to even find it, that was a really fun scene. And then just them getting back to camp, the suspense of, is Tony going to sneak up on them as they're opening the box? It was a lot of fun. I really enjoy seeing Parvati and Sari, their dynamics. Again, they haven't played since the late 2000s, maybe. So seeing those two interact as though nothing's ever changed in, 15 years or whatever it might be. And then for them to just, I don't know, it was fun to watch them operate in almost like panic mode. Is Tony coming? Is Tony coming? Is Tony coming? And then for them to send Lisa off as, she had to play bodyguard essentially, and Tony didn't even realize it, and then he had to dive his whole body into the well. I don't know. It was a really fun episode from the World Tribe, and that really is the duality of the two tribes. I think the World Tribe is much more friendly, and they're playing the game differently than the Australians are. Australia is absolutely guns blazing. They are here to play the game, but they are messy. Good Lord, they are messy. So yeah, that's my take on the World Tribe for Episode 3. All right, quick tidbit jumping into the Australian Tribe for Episode 3 is my girl Janine finally came around and got some screen time. I've said it multiple times. I will say it one more until I am blue in the face. Janine is my favorite female on the Australian Tribe. So for her to finally get a little bit of content was a breath of fresh air, in my opinion. It was nice being able to see her navigate, especially, and again, I love David, but to see her and Luke's relationship without him was very enjoyable. And speaking on Luke, the way he was just so calm and poised, he did not even bat an eye or have any consideration about telling Janine about his hidden immunity idol. And I for sure think that's a play. He needs to keep that idol a secret for as long as he can. One more thing, going back to the World Tribe, amongst all the chaos of the key and the secret box, it kind of fell right into our laps. I had no inkling that it was about to come up. Cass finds the World Tribe's hidden immunity idol, and she made reference to her game previously in Quebec. This girl is not telling anybody her secret, which again, as I said with Luke, I feel like that is the way to go. When you have an advantage, when you have a hidden immunity idol, keep that to yourself, because then it just paints a big target on your back. And then with people not knowing that you have that, you can use it as leverage. Information is king in this game. And for other people to have less information than you do, it puts you in a much better situation. So I was super pleased with Cass. One, finding the idol. I did not see it coming, first of all. And then for her to go out of her way to tell us that she's not telling a single soul, I feel like that's the absolute correct move. My next takeaway is George is not playing with amateurs. It's funny, it was mentioned in the episode. I can't remember if it was which one of the ladies mentioned it, but in his previous seasons, George has been able to almost strong arm people and tell them what they were going to do, and they just blindly followed. I said the same thing about Rob Bentley. These are not the people that you played with before. These are genuine all-stars. Not even all-stars. These are legends of the game. And so for you to look at Luke Toki and say, this is what you're going to do or you're going to go home, buddy, this is a different game than you're used to. And I should have known George wasn't going to change because, again, his strategy has worked twice in the past. Did he win the game? No. But he made it very, very far. So why would he change how he's played? But coming in and not being able to adapt to those around him, I wish I could say I'm surprised, but, I thought he was smarter than that, but I should have seen it coming with George. All right, next takeaway. So in episode 2, I talked about how much I enjoyed the alliance, the ride or die duo of Kirby and Sarah. I did not see it coming. Never in a million years would I have put it on my bingo card. And one episode later, it seems like Sarah is already backtracking. I don't know if the vote for David really just affected her in that way. I don't know if it was more so getting rid of David or how Kirby treated her. I feel like we're being told one thing, but she might feel differently. I know she's saying that she didn't like that Kirby told her what to do. Fair. But I feel like there's a little bit of undertones that she voted out one of her close friends, a personal friend on top of that. I think she is way overthinking this with Kirby. She's trying to play a different game. I give her credit. But if this is not the game you're comfortable with, you need to adapt. I think Sarah and Kirby could be strong, although the seeds are being planted. I don't foresee Sarah locking in with Kirby for the foreseeable future. I see Kirby wanting to have Shawnee at her side, and that is clearly a problem for Sarah. My prediction for the next episode, it'll be 5 Australian players going to Tribal Council. One person will win individual immunity. I could very much see a world where we have Janine and Luke on one side, Kirby and Shawnee on the other, and Sarah being that swing vote. Which way does she go? I don't know, but that's the path forward that I see for the Australian tribe. All right, and I will wrap up this video with a quick touch on Shawnee's revenge. I did predict this. It was a few episodes later than I thought it would be. Shawnee came in. She said it early. She does not trust George. I do appreciate the fact that they voted together and she gave him a false sense of security. She really had George thinking, hey, buddy, it's okay. You voted me out the last time we were on the beach, but we're cool now, and I'm on your side. And I love that once George was voted out, he took it on the chin, and she smiled in his face and said, yep, it was me. Good on Shawnee. Good on George. It was a really fun episode. Moving forward, I don't know how the Australian tribe plays out. It seems as though the Australian tribe is super fractured as opposed to the world tribe. They seem to be pretty much in cohesion. There might be things that the edit isn't showing us, but from what we've seen on TV, I feel like going into the merge at the start of next week, Australia needs to buckle up because the world seem attached to the hip, and I don't see them wavering. So that was my episode 3, Australian Survivor, Australia versus the world. Quick takeaways. I wanted to come in, get my thoughts, let you know how I felt about the first 3 episodes. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. I will be posting weekly Survivor content, even in the off season, weekly Survivor content. So if you're a Survivor fan, like the video, subscribe for more. Until next time, the tribe has spoken.